Hi. So we've talked about safety considerations for post-hypnotic suggestions before. In fact, there's a whole playlist here on my channel about safety. Everything I say there applies here. And I'll review those things in this video, but first I want to reiterate an important safety tip specific to triggers. Whatever cue is used should not be likely to occur accidentally in the subject's life. I wouldn't suggest using "how are you doing" as a sleep trigger, for instance. That's just asking for trouble. Okay, some review. 1. I think it's a pretty dumb idea to install post-hypnotic suggestions in a hookup situation. Save trigger play for folks you expect to play with for the foreseeable future. Use mantras instead. They're easy and their future use is entirely driven by the subject. 2. The trigger should only be installed if the subject has consciously and unreservedly given their consent. 3. I can't guarantee the use of triggers or any kink is always going to be perfectly safe. Please have a conversation about risks with your partner. 4. This is the time to deploy the safe and appropriate language. For example, this trigger should only work when it's safe and appropriate for this trigger to work. That's a baseline. I suggest adding, it doesn't work, for instance, when you're driving or at work or doing anything requiring your full attention. 5. If it makes sense to do so, add language specifying conditions to be met before the trigger can work. It only works during this session. It only works when you're with me and naked. It only works when you're wearing your collar. It only works if you decide it works, that kind of thing. 6. Related but slightly more specific. You might want to set an explicit duration during which the trigger can be effective. 7. I personally prefer any post-hypnotic suggestions I create with my subjects belong to the subjects. Sadly, all relationships eventually end. Plus, I think it's hot when my partners offer these triggers to their other partners. Finally, this doesn't get said enough. Don't be a jerk. Your primary instinct should be to protect the well-being of your partner. Do that.